Welcome to the RDG Sports Channel with your boy RDG, talking your Commanders. Please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button for me, please. Anyway, these despicable Commanders. Ron Rivera took over play calling duties, and what happened? Tyreek Hill, 2 times, pretty much wide open. I say wide open, even though he had guys chasing him and was supposed to be covering him, he still was wide open. And how can you leave one of the fastest human beings on earth wide open like that? 2 times. 2 times. And then the pass rush can't get home. And then it was no pass rush. But let me go back to the reason why Tyreek Hill was that wide open on that last touchdown he scored. It's because the simple fact is, Ron Rivera calling defense, right? You send a 0 blitz. If you don't get home, you know that's curtains. So it goes back to having defensive awareness, like I always preach. The defensive players, when you know that the cornerback, that is, if you know that your coach called a 0 blitz, okay, I got to put on my track shoes. I got to play off this guy further than normal. I got to at least give myself 10 yards. And I got to be backpedaling. And I got to be at top speed. By the time I turn my hips, I got to be at top speed because I know if the blitz don't get home, he's coming my way to Tyreek Hill. As a defensive back, you should know that and understand that. And you should be prepared for that. If you look back on the instant replay, Fuller kind of hesitated. How can you hesitate with a guy like Tyreek Hill, who's one of the fastest human beings on earth? How can you second guess? I'm asking you guys, go back and look at that play and watch that slight hesitation. All it took was at least a second of hesitation or a half second of hesitation with a guy like Tyreek Hill. It seemed like Fuller was surprised that Tyreek Hill started running at top speed with like 1 second. All you got to do is go back and look at the instant replay. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. Ron Rivera had a mixed bag today as far as him calling defense. I say 70% was on Ron Rivera, 30% was on the players. The players' defense awareness is awful on this team. Yeah, that attributes to bad coaching, but still, you got to have some sense of awareness and common sense. You just have to. Now, Jamin Davis, I thought, played a good game. Jamin Davis played a good game. I'm not going to come for Jamin Davis. You know, he played a good game. Khalil Hudson, you get a D grade. You get a D grade. A couple of tackles you missed, you know, and that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Cameron Curl, bad angles. You know what I mean? You're so concerned with Waddle. You was lined up when Tyreek Hill had his first touchdown. You were so concerned with Waddle's speed. I'm not even concerned. You was closer to Waddle's side. I would have been concentrating strictly on Tyreek Hill's side. You got a rookie over there trying to cover this guy. You know what I mean? You got a rookie over there trying to cover this guy. That's a mismatch, man. Come on, man. Come on. A safety on a wide receiver. You should have been protecting his side. But instead, you was worrying about Waddle, and sure enough, Tyreek Hill down the sideline, that was all she wrote. He hit Quan Martin with some stutter step move at the line of scrimmage. He shouldn't have been playing that close up on Tyreek Hill. That's what I mean by the defensive coordinator and the defensive back coach, whoever it may be. You played that wrong. You want to keep everything in front of you with this guy. You have to. Who does that? Who plays this guy the way you guys play him? And if you're going to play him, have a safety up there high and you jam him at the line. But if you know, once you finish jamming him, you better have on your track shoes. Because he's gone. You know? So, I mean, it's just I just don't understand. I really don't understand the way Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio is calling these plays, man. With the personnel that you have, you know your cornerbacks struggle to stay with wide receivers. Why are you not having a safety protecting these guys? For the life of me. You're having these guys go one-on-one. They cannot guard anybody with some sort of speed one-on-one. Haven't you learned that early on in the year, and you still trotting these guys out there to go one-on-one? You can't help out everybody. I get that. But you're at least the team's fastest player or the team's top wideout. You at least want to double this guy, these people. You just can't just have these guys just single-handedly destroying you. And you wonder why you're giving up big plays. You guys do not take away the team's best player. It's like you don't game plan for the team's best player. Who does that? And you wonder why you give up the most points. You wonder why you give up the most explosive plays, because you don't take away the team's best player. It's obvious. The teams take away, on our offensive side of the ball, the team take away our best players all the time. Terry McLaurin, where was he today? Where have anybody seen Terry McLaurin? Because I sure haven't. You attempted to go deep. I understand, Sam, how got hit. Terry McLaurin couldn't come up with the ball. I get that. You know, teams are keying in on Terry McLaurin. Obviously, we need help at the wide receiver because these other guys are not getting open. We need another stud, and I'm sorry. Jahan Dotson is not the stud that we all thought he was. He is not the stud that we all thought he was. And if I ruffle some feathers, I ruffle some feathers. I don't care right now. You know, I'm just speaking the real. I'm sick and tired of the nonsense. I cannot wait for the season to be over with. No, I didn't think we was going to beat Miami, but it's the way that we lose the teams. It bothers me so much. It's just common sense, common knowledge. Don't allow the team's best player to get going. It's just that simple. If they're going to beat us, cool, but they're going to beat us with somebody else. That's what the team's telling us. Y'all not going to beat us with Terry McLaurin. Y'all going to beat us with somebody else. And y'all not going to get this running game so you can get the play action started. We can't get the running game going anyway because the offensive line simply cannot block. Especially Malley, whatever his name is. I don't care. I don't know his name. That guy's terrible. He is terrible. Get beat like a drum with no-name defensive ends. You make no-name defensive ends stars. He makes no-name defensive ends stars. Sam Howell, you're holding on the ball too long. You got to. I mean, you starting to catch on after a while. You starting to get the hell out of that pocket. You starting to run for your life, what you should have been doing all year. But like I said, you was inexperienced. But now you're starting to get it. This offensive line cannot block. So don't stand in that pocket like you got the 91 the Redskins offensive line. Get out of that pocket. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, out of there. Start running. Because the moment you get to 4 and 5 seconds, that's it. You don't have a line that can give you 5 seconds. Tua, on the other hand, had 6, 7, 8 seconds to pass the ball at times. And then once the guys get there to Tua, they can't wrap up. We got cavemen rushing the passer. We need some young athletic guys that know how to play football and have good defensive awareness, man. That's what we need. We need speed on that team. It's obvious that we don't have speed on that team, especially at the cornerback position. You got Big St. Juice. He's a slow guy. Fuller, slow guy. Emmanuel Ford is supposed to be fast, but he wouldn't have been able to stop Tyreek Hill. No one can. No one in the league can stop him one-on-one. But what you do is you provide a coverage that's towards him, and you double team him at times. And you got to pick and choose when to blitz. You blitz on the short field, not on the long field. You don't send a zero blitz on a long field. You giving this guy all the green to run, and Tua has an arm. He has a cannon. You giving this guy all the green to run just a straight route. He's going to outrun your safety, and he's going to outrun your cornerback. So you don't do a zero blitz unless you got that safety plan all the way back, at least 25 yards from the line of scrimmage. That's the only way you do a zero blitz against Tyreek Hill when you got a long field. Other than that, you do not do a zero blitz with a long field. The only time you do a zero blitz, you want to do a zero blitz is when the field is cut in half. At least 40 yards in. That'll give you a cornerback at least 40 yards to stick with this guy. At least. Or for our team, 30 yards in. That's when you do a zero blitz. I understand they was going to move the ball from 20-yard line to the other 20-yard line. But don't give up no touchdowns. Your team is not good enough to stop them from make these guys punt. We're not going to make these. I was surprised that we made them punt one time. Our defense is not good enough to make these guys punt. So I'm like, in my mind, okay, we're going to keep it at field goal. We're going to make this a field goal game. We're going to keep it close. We're going to do some ball control, but we can't even ball control. And people keep talking about Irk Bieniemy pass happy and stuff like that. You can't ball control when you don't have the offensive line or the capable running backs. Where they do got a capable running back, but they just don't use the guy. Rodriguez. They got him on the bench. When he gets in the game, look at his yard per average. It's 5.1. That's on the season. 5.1 yard per average. Every time he gets in the game, the guy falls forward. The only time he didn't fall forward when he was tackled for a loss because the offensive lineman simply couldn't block. He got on a blitz play a couple of times this year when he was in the game. But other than that, 95% of the time, this guy goes forward. He cuts. He knows how to follow his blocks. He knows how to set up his block. Why don't, for the life of me, he's the best pure runner on your team. He may not be faster, but he's the best pure running back. B-Rob is a second string. I keep going back and I keep saying it. Brian Robinson is a second string running back. He's not a starting running back. So that's one problem there. The second problem is your offensive line is atrocious. You need to revamp that offensive line. They're not the offensive line. That's not it. So Irk Bieniemy has no choice. He's trying to move the ball the best way he know how. If your ground game only averaging 2 yards per carry, 3 yards per carry, even if you run the balls 3 straight times, that's still going to put you at 4th and 1. Our guys don't average 4 yards. Watch the games. Look at the games look at the game flow. The offensive line can't open up the holes. The running backs don't know how to read the holes. I mean, they don't know how to run through and make a big difference themselves like Rodriguez do. Rodriguez make a big difference himself. He's able to see what's going on, and he has the good vision, and he cuts through. He goes north. He takes one cut, and he's gone. You got Gibson and Robinson. They stutter step, and then they try to go, and it's too late. By that time, you're giving the defense enough chance to come in and make the tackle. Just watch Rodriguez. He makes one cut, boom, he's gone. He don't dance and play out there like Gibson do, like Robinson does. He creates his own path, and he's gone. Despite that terrible, abysmal offensive line. Despite that. Ron Rivera, I cannot wait for you to vacate the premises. I cannot wait. It's just a matter of time before we get some real football people up in here to make some real decisions and get some real players up in here. Get some real coaches up in here. Because y'all not it. Y'all are not it. And you're getting evaluated these last 5 games. You know, if you would have reeled off 5 straight wins against the Dolphins, against the Cowboys, against the 49ers, you know, against the Rams, and beat this Dolphins team, you would have sealed your fate. And somehow we reeled off 9, and we've been 9-8, and somehow snuck into the playoffs. We'd have been good. You'd have been good money, and then and win a wild card game. You dig, and go to the second round, and somehow miraculously, luckily, win that. And then go to the NFC Championship game. That'd have been the only way, but you wouldn't have won that anyway. That'd have been the only way that you could be retained. Other than that, you're already gone. This game right here is the solidification of your demise. This game right here tops it off how the season has gone. This game right here. It's no more Jack Del Rio excuses. You know, Jack Del Rio was horrible. But now you took over play calling responsibilities. I know Jack Del Rio is home with his wife. Just, I told you, hun. See, I'm not to blame. No, Jack Del Rio, you was part of the blame also. Ron Rivera, these the players you picked on defense. You and Jack Del Rio, this is what you get. This is what you get right here. You pick those players. You know, you allowed Jack Del Rio to bring that defensive back coach in here, which was horrible, by the way. You know, and then you took over play calling. It's already gone. It's already too far gone. It's no repairing that. There's no fixing that. It's too far gone now. So therefore, take your licks and keep it moving. And keep it moving. You know, cut your losses, take your licks and keep moving. Because it's over with. And I know if I was the owner of the team, you would have been gone, let's say, last year. Because like I say it all the time, you promised us this, you promised us that, and you didn't come through. And then the lady at halftime said, when she got the interview you briefly at halftime, we got to stop letting the guys get behind. Well, Ron Rivera, you're calling the defense. You're coaching the defense. You're part of the problem. What you should have said was, I got to do a better job of coaching. I got to do a better job of putting these guys in the right position. I got to do a better job to protect these guys. No, you're throwing these guys under the bus. We cannot let us know. What about your play calling, man? That zero blitz. What about you? Point the finger at yourself. There's one thing about Eric Bieniemy. I can say this. I got to do a better job of play calling. I got to do a better job of putting those guys in the right position. And if I don't do that, I deserve to get fired. That's what you need to say, Ron Rivera. That's what you need to say. But instead, you throw the guys under the bus like you do all the time. You and Jack Del Rio. For Jack Del Rio, I remember when he threw Jamin Davis under the bus. I remember when you threw the quarterback under the bus. You just always throwing people under the bus, Ron Rivera. I never heard you say, I got to do a better job of coaching this team. I'm the one who picked these players. It's my fault. I'm the one who picked these coaches. Everything falls on me. I got to take responsibility. I never heard you once say that. I would hate to be standing by you when a bus is coming. We stand at the bus stop. You're going to throw me under that. You're going to throw me under that bus. And for the bus to roll me over. I would never stand at a bus stop near you while a bus is pulling up. You're the type of guy, you would shove somebody underneath that bus right when the bus is pulling off. So no. But you won't be here. You won't be here, so we don't have to worry about you no longer worry about you, Mr. Ron Rivera. I am pissed, embarrassed, sad, mad, disappointed, disgusted, appalled. One thing I can say, those guys still play for you for some reason. They still play for you. I give you the benefit of the doubt on that. I give you the benefit of the doubt of changing the culture. And those guys still fighting, playing for you. Even at wit's end. So you get some credit for that. Anyway, you guys, that's all I got for today. You guys, if your first time tuning in, please subscribe. Please like, hit the comment button. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Sorry for signing off. Peace.